This is a dry country. And if you go into this business thinking you're going to get 21 inches a year, you're going to have some problems because you'll have those years of 4 inches. My dad got started working with the NRCS probably 40 years ago. We did some water development and some rotation grazing through our pastures, be able to rest a pasture completely. And that in itself is a drought management plan right there.
Upon request of producers, NRCS will come out, we'll measure the amount of forage that's being grown on each soil type and each pasture, and calculate that into weighted averages, so on and so forth, and ultimately come up with an estimated safe initial stocking rate.
There's always been those numbers out there as far as stocking rate goes that have always kind of been just a fly by the seat of the pants type of a deal. But what NRCS's technical support does is it brings in some actual science into it. So by actually clipping that grass and seeing what species we have out there, seeing what condition the range is actually in, it's a lot less of a guessing game.
We know that you can take about 50% of the leaf mass off of a plant and not affect the root growth all that much. So not going past that is pretty key to being sustainable. And then that becomes very important when we move into drought.
When you start talking about a herd size of 100 to 200 cow-calf pairs, and even maybe more than that, you really need to kind of have a fine point on that as far as how much grass is in that particular paddock and when they need to be moved. A lot of times the technical support from NRCS that's a must.
Some level of cattle grazing is actually important for lesser prairie chicken habitat use. Much like the bison disturbed the grasses historically, domestic livestock are now serving that same purpose. If you defer a pasture from grazing for too long of a period of time, the birds will use it less.
Some people will graze season long, some people will graze year round. There's rotational grazing, intensive early stocking, just continuous graze. We'll make recommendations on what we think will work best to head for that producer's goals, but there will likely be several avenues to arrive at that same goal that they're able to choose from. From central Kansas on west is very prone to drought. Every 5, 7, 8 years, we hit a dry spell of some sort, and drought contingency plans are not only very important for the livestock end of things and being sustainable, they're also very important for prairie chicken. Most people are change averse. I fall into that category. It's just like anything else, when you do decide to make a change in the way you're operating, you can't expect just glorious results in the first year. It may not even come in the second year. Typically, if we're getting reasonable rainfall, by the third year, it's starting to pay off. So obviously, you have to monitor the plan to know whether it's working or not. So at the end of the first season, we'll go out, we'll do some measurements, see if we're on track, see if we can bump up or whether we need to move back. If you're grazing in that manner, then you're also doing good things for the prairie chicken, so that the two coexist very nicely with each other.
Prairie chickens, to me, are an indicator species, just like a grizzly bear or a whatever. We hope to have all different qualities and volumes of grass on the land at some place at some time. So in the whole ranch, you've got a whole ecosystem, and you're leaving some wildlife areas, and that's also insurance for us for our cattle. I've heard it said by a lot of good people that if your ranch is in good shape, it's going to be in good shape for wildlife also. It all is intertwined, and we have to understand that.